All right, we are live. We are definitely live.
There we go.
How's everybody going? I know we're a little bit early. I know we're a little bit early. We're making sure that everything is okay. You can hear us. It says we're live, but we haven't gone live on yet.
There it is.
All right, there it is. So we're live on the YouTubies now. Yeah, that was the echo, unfortunately. All right, how's everybody doing today? What's been going on? We're back for another Wednesday live stream, right? And we got a whole bunch of stuff.
Lots of fun stuff we think y'all will find very interesting. Actually, can y'all hear it? Do we sound good? Because we spent a lot of time before the stream
just for the audio.
doing audio. Just oh, you have no idea. Y'all enjoy the stream and all that good stuff, but the prep for the stream, you guys will definitely enjoy it because it's pretty funny.
But the audio is good because I can see it popping right now. Double mic, echo, echo, echo. Oh, a little echo. They say double mic, little echo, little echo. Echo, echo, echo. All right.
At the beginning of the stream, when they're
there is an echo. All right. So let's try to fix this echo.
I take off my mic and just speak loud.
Slight reverb. It's funny because we use these and we didn't have any reverb. Gotta love streaming. Hello. All right. Because I'm thinking, I'm talking and you're talking.
Oh.
Two inputs active. It's actually, maybe another input is active. Let me see.
Is it still your hit in the head mic?
Let me see. Turn this on.
I think it is.
Might be that. Yeah. This was the sound. All right, give us 1 second. We got to fix the sound because the input is coming from the wrong place. It's actually coming from this mic. So give us 1 second. All right, so I think this may be the wireless microphone we're looking for. Let me pull this out. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, it's two inputs that both say wireless microphone.
Yeah, there's two inputs. All right. So there's two inputs, and for some reason, it just started using both inputs. So we got to cut this out of the beginning of the video. All right.
Pretend this didn't happen. But,
Yes.
Strike it from the record. Strike it from the record.
Yes. Stricken. It's stricken. All right. So now, so you guys understand, we are people who like to see what's going on in the world. And I was actually shocked with the ICE. So for those of you who don't know, recently, just like right now, ICE has decided, the people in Minnesota or the people who are in Minnesota had enough with the whole ICE thing, right? And they've now decided to work with ICE. So the plan seems to be that Holman went there and said, hey, listen, we don't want to be picking people off the street and want all this stuff.
No,
we don't want to
did.
be shooting
He
people,
did.
right?
We have had a good conversation with Ross. Or that's what he actually said. But yeah, no, continue.
Well, here is his speech. Now, this is breaking like this morning. This is breaking
Just
this
happened.
morning. So we're going to hear Tom Holman, and he's going to talk about a reduction in ICE, working with the local people, and stopping this whole.
They're not completely pulling out now. They're not completely, just a reduction in force.
Yeah, just a reduction. Here is Tom Holman this morning.
Given this increase in unprecedented collaboration, and as a result of the need for less law enforcement officers to do this work in a safer environment, I have announced effective immediately, we will draw down 700 people effective today. 700 law enforcement personnel. We have also fully integrated CBP personnel into the ICRO team structure under one unified chain of command. Not two chains of command, there'd be one chain of command here. Any large enforcement operation I've ever been involved with, There's one chain of command, and that's where we're moving forward.
That works the best.
During our efforts to identify and implement improvements of how operations are planned, conducted, and managed, we identified a gap in regard to the use of body-worn cameras. And this was actually raised by the workforce when I started walking around talking to people here. Some officers and agents had them, some didn't. That inconsistency was unacceptable, so we moved immediately to prioritize full body cam deployment in the city. I discussed this with Secretary Noem a couple of days ago, and she made the decision to deploy them. The plan is to deploy them nationwide, but it's a priority for the city right now. There's actually $20 million in the spending bill to further fund the deployment of body cameras. The president is supportive of this decision because we have nothing to hide. We want to be fully transparent in what we do.
Now, just so everybody understands what's going on, because I feel like we've gone into it, but not let you know what's going on. So obviously you have the Renee Good killing, which I think was justified. You have the Peretti killing, which we think was unjustified. Yeah. No matter what team you play on, it's just kind of how we feel about it. But it seems like because of those two killings that ICE or the government has decided, let's change tactics here. Let's not just send thousands of people in there and fight with the local population.
It's not the most efficacious way to go about what you want to do.
Yeah, but it's not just the federal government's issue. The local government was sitting, was essentially saying, be loyalists and fight with ICE. So they've come to this agreement. It's like, this is not helping anybody. It's not helping anybody on that side. So let's just do this. Since we have the people locked up in the prisons,
let's just kind of keep them there, especially like the murderers and the rapists and people who are kind of bad. Let's just keep them in jail because they're not going to be like Anne Frank and be hidden in people's attics. Even though the ICE are Nazis, from what I understand, but they're not hiding the Mexicans in their closets now, are they? But anyway, that's a different topic for another video that I've already shot. Yeah. But yeah, so the original plan that everyone said would probably work, let's work together so that you don't have to worry about people overstepping their bounds. Like that could have happened to begin with.
But it's safer for everybody though, true. Because if the person's already locked up, then you just take them and hand them the ICE, and then you don't have to worry about catching them on the street and all that stuff.
And they're just gone. Yeah. But it's logic. No.
I'm sitting on the porcelain throne at the moment. We're glad to hear it. We're glad to hear it. So now it's interesting because with all this ICE stuff, at the Grammys, there was a whole big backlash against ICE. ICE is bad. ICE is bad.
Vanilla
ICE is bad. Well,
no. Oh, this ICE.
Yeah, Immigration and Customs Enforcement Service. So
the Grammys.
Yeah, because everybody, it's very.
They were in Minnesota.
No. We were the Grammys. The Grammys were in LA.
So why did they? Oh, you know what? Just let's see.
Yeah, but so just so everybody understands what happened at the Grammys. People were speaking out, but Billie Eilish said something very in particular that essentially is going to come back to bite her in the behind. So here, we're going to let Megyn Kelly explain it because she actually puts it best in this particular clip. Check this out. This is Megyn Kelly talking about what's going on with Billie Eilish.
Hey everyone, I'm Megyn Kelly. Welcome to the Megyn Kelly Show and happy Monday. Who might be the most depressed person in America. I mean, I like all of her music is like. She shows up and she's ready to talk about ICE with her disgusting outfit. Truly, she was one of the worst dressed. But here she was with a message, just like her fellow artists for ICE in SOT 8.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
I love the.
Sabrina Carpenter is very lucky that she is an attractive white woman because there's nothing going on behind those eyes at all. She just, I know to clap for this because we're saying we're doing the thing. We're doing the thing. All right. Just nothing's happening back there.
Beautiful woman though, but they're all clapping. I popped a hemorrhoid on some blood.
that sucks, let me tell you.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Okay.
What the hell is that?
And yeah, it's just really hard to know what to say and what to do right now. And I feel really hopeful in this room, and I feel like we just need to keep fighting and speaking up and protesting, and our voices really do matter and the people matter. And
you literally look like the human embodiment of a domino, which is a great game. but it wouldn't really be my motivation for the Grammys. I mean, what? Okay. She, like everybody else who got up there to lecture us, has got more money than God. Her property records reveal she paid $14 million for her LA estate back in 2023. Yeah, and the property spans, Jesse, nearly 4 acres on an oak tree studded hillside, gated, of course, accessed via a very long, sinuously winding driveway. No part of the house itself is visible from the street, but it's quite large. 6 bedrooms, 7 baths, nearly 7,000 square feet. It's located on the ancestral, unceded land of the Tongva people.
Wait, you
Hold
mean
on.
you mean to tell me that the person who was over there reading off a teleprompter on what the cool kids are saying and encouraging other people not to be on stolen land is on stolen land herself?
Wait a minute, Billy. It's on ancestral land. The county of Los Angeles formally recognizes that it occupies land originally and still inhabited and cared for by the Tongva, along with other indigenous groups. She has a net worth of well over $50 million, of course. And Billy is just fine with her 24/7 security team and her gates and her 4 acres outside of LA. But the rest of us need to live ungated, unprotected, without all the acreage, and just deal with the murderous, raping illegals that she wants sicked on us, or we're bad people.
Megan went pretty hard. She went pretty hard.
I don't think she likes her very much.
No,
I don't think she.
But you can't let all the nonsense go for a good point. And I think Megyn Kelly has a very, very good point.
The irony is so thick you can cut it. I'm just saying,
yes.
like it's so. I mean, I live in the gated community. I don't know about her, but that is a good point. How are you going to tell other people about these supposed virtues but you don't follow any of that in real life? Are the Native Americans who the land supposedly originally belonged to invited on your compound that's heavily fortified and guarded 24/7 and restricts access to people?
No, but the wild part about it is that, I understand wanting to be for a cause, but the fact that she herself is literally on stolen land, right? She's literally on. They said this land is stolen from these people. We know who these people are. We know, but it's
this is almost as bad as the plot of the first Poltergeist movie. Like you sit back and think of like this is, or the first or the second. Y'all remember the Poltergeist movie and the family living on Native American ancestral land? Yeah, that's what caused all the So that I could only hope something like that would happen to Billie Eilish so that she would get the point. But this is exactly the point that when y'all aren't around and I'm just talking to Nate and we're discussing topic, this is what annoys the piss out of me. A lot of these people, like Billie Eilish, don't actually believe this stuff. And you can tell, right? They know what to say and who to hate. And so then when people like us see through it, they get upset. So if we're supposed to just be listening to celebrities, okay, cool. Let's listen to Kanye then. Is that cool? It's just
any Reverend Shani updates. I'm not sure about Reverend Shani.
I stopped following them years ago. Don't care.
So it's funny because New York Post did an article on this, and their article, they literally have like the native so this is her house. So we're looking at her house right now, and if you look at it, gated, it's pretty big, pool and everything. This is all on the estate, and these are the Native Americans who are like the Tonga. Again, we want our land back. No one's illegal on stolen land. But I bet you if one of their asses jumped over that fence, they become illegal real quick, right?
Security. one of the colored people has breached the perimeter. Okay. Sinjon. Yes, Sinjon and Mike. They're out here again. They have some weird stuff in their hair. They're yelling at me. Please come get them, please.
You guys know, like, do we have to really pretend like she wouldn't call the cops if this is stolen land? Obviously, and if that's the case, all land is stolen land, right? There is absolutely no unstolen land. Somebody stole it from somebody else. That's how we got it, right?
So that means I can just walk up to Billie Eilish or any of the Tom with, hey, I need you to come up out of that. Let's go. Come on.
It's stolen land. It's stolen land. This is MAGA country. There's some extra buzzy bucks.
Boozy bucks?
Is that boozy? That's buzzy. B-U-Z-Z-Y.
Buzzy buck. I like them even better. Hell yeah.
But the crazy part about this is that virtue signaling has bit her in the ass, and now she has to go and pretend that this. But the hardcore fact is, if she was really believed in what she's saying, then she would just let them in, right? Hey,
no
here's
big
your
deal.
land back.
I don't need any gates. I don't need any security. I trust nobody's illegal. Nobody
stolen
fine.
land.
Are you serious? Come on, just stop.
This is stolen land. Now, this is something that we all wanted to ask you people. Now, we're two black guys. If you can't see it, it's right here. We're two black guys. And we're two professional black guys. We're both college-educated men. And, it's usually...
I don't have an ED.
That's true.
I don't have ED.
But when you go from being someone... So, if you accept the left-wing mantra,
the narrative,
the message. You're one of them, right? You're one of them. But soon as for instance, there are some black ICE officers. So do you think that the white and the Hispanic people who are fighting ICE, they see a black ICE officer, do you think they'll start calling them racial slurs? That's not what they tell us the left do. The left is
they're inclusive, right?
Yes, right, yeah.
They're on the right side of history. They're not right, but they're on the right side of history, and they're morally superior. Remember,
it's even worse than that. Let's not forget too. If you can't if a man says they're a woman and you say, "Excuse me, sir," but identify as a woman,
look,
that's violence. That's violence.
Words are violence, and you have dead named me. And that is a macro aggression, okay? And I am micro offended, and I'm going on Reddit and Twitter and Facebook, and you're getting canceled. #fuck Nate.
That's it. Let's watch the Lakers. We want to keep this monetized.
Okay, my bad.
You pulled the big F bomb.
We're gonna have to cut that one out. We're gonna cut that.
Catching Nate live, making having the flu so much better. Thank you. I'm sucked out with flu. Looking for intelligent, out of paid actors without scripts. This reality TV thing is becoming out of control. Yes. And it's tough. But again, the point here, and thank you for the super chats. The point here is these left-wing, tree-hugging, we love all people, the right is the racist. We're going to see now they're going to encounter a black ICE agent.
Let's see what happens.
A black ICE agent. We want to see how tolerant they are to black people who want to go and be gainfully employed with the federal government. So let's look at that clip. Here is what's happening, and make sure I expand this so we can all see it. And expanded it too much, but here we go. So we're going here, and we are going to play this video here.
Black people as if we're less than. They treat black people like we're incapable of succeeding without them, like we need a hand up. Meanwhile, when I go around white MAGA, they treat me as if I'm equal. They talk to me like I'm a regular human being.
Now, this is obviously a black MAGA, so he's got a point to it. And I'll say this though, personally. Now I can't speak for all black people. I'm not the Jesus of black people. Personally, when I disagree with someone who's on the right, I don't really have a lot of backlash. There's no backlash. There's a disagreement, but
we can have the discussion,
right? Yeah. But if I disagree with someone on the left, I'm a racist. I'm a bigot. I'm this I become all these isms.
You're a grifter.
Yeah. If I say I don't believe men and women should compete in sports together, I'm anti-trans.
But you don't even have to really even put forth a full opposition. You can just say, look, I just feel uncomfortable with what's the direction this stuff is going. Maybe we need to slow it down and discuss it a bit. And just the fact that you want to say, hey, let's slow down and reevaluate stuff. That is derision. Everything is derision unless there's no brakes on the train of progress, So
hold on. We have a thing. It says you guys got to speak louder. All right. I'm assuming so. Maybe you got to turn up the volume. I'll turn it up a little bit if you guys don't feel like you can hear us.
You mean figuratively or literally, sir? Figuratively, literally.
So yeah, we turned up the volume a little bit more so. And let's get Eric, who will be on with tomorrow. Nate and Drag back. Oh boy, we're in trouble now. Yes.
Got a lot to say.
So here we go. So we're back to the video, and I'm going to forward it from his monologue, and we're going to look at exactly what happened.
Here's the interaction.
Here's the interaction. So we're going to see the interaction.
We just chill out and have a beer.
Now, a lot of liberals like to deny this, don't they? They say, oh no, we're not racist. We're just trying to tell you how you should think. Well, here's a black ICE agent who doesn't agree with them, and suddenly the mask comes off with these people. They start calling him racial slurs. Check this out.
Yeah, families should be ripped apart. That's not our energy. Like, we should rip people apart from their families.
Are you a man?
Wow, is that a question?
Okay.
I mean,
Are you a man? Is that a question? No racial insults have been thrown out, right?
no, they feel insulted. They feel insulted. Is that a question?
Are you a man? Is that a question? Yeah, it's a
I
question.
mean, yeah, it's an insulting one, but it's still a question. Yeah.
Okay, but now let's see how the response.
Wow.
He walked away. He's disengaging.
About ripping people from their families. I feel good.
Sir, I need to move.
I don't know if you heard, but they did drop the house N-E-R word. They didn't even say the nig. They put the ER.
It's going to become more prominent in a second.
Wow, is that a question? Wow. Okay. How do you feel about ripping people from their families? I feel good.
Fucking house nigga, isn't there?
Sir, I need to move.
Fucking house nigga working for the fucking KKK.
What's wrong with you people? Why are you calling a woman a man?
They complained about calling the woman a man. They just called the guy a house ER.
Look, I watched this originally on the Asmongold channel, and I could not believe it. And yes, I watch Asmongold probably every day, but I could not believe it. So if y'all have taken time to spend time around these folks in real life, this shouldn't be surprising. It always comes out eventually. What's
Thanksgiving?
The funniest part about this? None of them correct them.
No, like
nobody says a word and just goes along with it. So, it's just that speaks volumes about what's actually going on under the hood. So, like, don't sit here and lie to people about how much morally superior you are to folks. But this has been the experience. Again, I've experienced stuff like this in real life. I spent many years around people of this stripe, and even radical black feminists. I've gone to some of their conferences. I like being embedded in with these type of people to understand them better. And let me tell you, there's some mental gymnastics they need to do to like validate this sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, it's I'm not going to the Roach Cave anytime soon. If Asmongold wants to meet up, then we're going to go somewhere that's other than his house. That's disgusting.
Blessing to you both. Thank you for sharing this. Yeah, but you know what? The thing that pisses me off about this is that this guy's just working a job.
Yeah.
Right. And all these liberals will tell you, matter of fact, think about this. If one of those ICE agents called somebody like one of the Somalians, you N-word, that would be on every channel, 24-hour news cycle would be seeing this is what they're saying to these people.
You remember when
you say it to a black officer, then it's kind of like, but I think that's mask off though. That shows you that they really don't give a F about this guy.
They don't care about this.
They don't
at
care.
all.
But what they do care about is getting you guys to vote the right way. And don't get me wrong, this is blatant, right? This is blatant. They are blatantly calling him the N, not
multiple times,
not as my brother with an A, as a ER. You are a ER in
right. But that's the best part. Remember how outraged people got when the guy who got hit by Good?
Yeah.
I think he called her a F and B.
Yeah.
They got so upset by that.
He's a murderer for that. He's a murderer.
Yeah, like because she hit him with her car and he said a bad word, but it's allowed when you go off the reservation.
Racism is allowed when you go off the reservation.
There you go. Outside the gate.
It's so crazy. And the worst part about this is that most of you people would not even see this if it wasn't for us showing it to you.
Yeah. Hey.
I mean, what kind of a guy does that?
We fucking house nigga,
fucking neighbor. A warning for what, sir? A warning for what?
Warning to quit following our vehicle.
Because
we're conducting law enforcement operations.
Yes, and we're allowed to film you doing those law enforcement operations. We still have a First Amendment, sir.
We are not
Make it
impeding your
follow.
operations. We're merely filming them.
Filming, but once you enter the
They're
operation
the
area,
tolerant left, and
like that see, and this is the part that a lot of people don't understand. You can absolutely film what they're doing from a distance, but there is an area in which they're operating that you cannot enter. It's like if there's a crime scene, right? You can stand outside of the tape, but you should go in there. I'm just filming. No, they're going to arrest you and probably hurt you. So just that's something people need to really keep in mind. But hey,
maybe I'm not understanding. Now you're doing the same thing. The other side is racist. I'm saying they both have.
Oh yeah, no, there's
aspects of racism.
There's irony here.
Right?
There's people who are saying that they are above this behavior.
Correct.
And then here they are displaying the behavior.
The same racism that they're out there supposedly fighting against ICE because ICE is racist, right? And they're using racial slurs against black people who are working for the government. Like there's no irony there. Like, don't get me wrong. If you're a KKK member, you're more likely going to be vote Republican, right? Pretty much.
Yeah. But
so it's not like we're saying let's stop pretending that the other side is not racist.
This whole ICE out and all this stuff is not about racial equality or gender equality, or it's none of that's actually true. No one in these movements are trying to form some type of egalitarian society. They're vying for control. Each of these disparate groups, the BLM, the feminists, the Alphabet Club, are vying for control over a society going into the future. That's all that it is.
Let me see. I'm late. Do you think this was a black cameraman saying that? Not that is that an excuse? I'm not sure. It could have been a black camera. It could have been blacks. But if your goal is going out there saying we're out there fighting racism, we're out there doing this, and then you're on camera, that same group is on camera calling people the N-word, calling people any type of racial
you're not
slur.
challenging it. You're not saying, look, we need to chill out with that. Then you're complicit, right? So just think about if this was any other scenario where there's a guy who's saying misogynistic things, the feminists would lose their mind because the other guys aren't saying something, right? So that same type of scenario here. And what I'm saying is, I think what Nate's saying is, at least be consistent. If you're going to try to pull the wool over our eyes, at least try to be consistent when it counts. You know,
I'm part of a research group that has studied these groups for over 5 years. Most of these communists, not regular liberals, through these groups are trying to recruit liberals and other progressive groups. I definitely agree. But the thing about this whole strategy is that, remember, they're trying to get the moral high ground. But if you look at the tactics they're using, it's not moral. This is just as bad as they are doing the same thing as they're complaining about the other side to do, except they're doing it for a good cause, allegedly. That's their good cause.
You lose the moral high ground when you stoop to the level of the people you say you're above. But,
yes.
Hey.
Dems have been this way for years. It's more transparent. Both sides have it. But one has been hidden. That is
true. So the difference, and I tried to make this point to other left-leaning people that don't really get it. It's the difference between racialism and racism. And even now, as I say that, people who disagree with me don't even know the difference. So but it's true. It's racialism versus racism.
Yeah.
Neither one of them are great, but let's not pretend this isn't something. But I can tell you what is crazy and what everybody's going to agree, that Tiffany Hinya is still losing her gosh darn mind with whatever it is he's trying to do.
So we got so now we move to Tiffany Hinyard, and you guys all know. For those of you who don't know who Tiffany Hinyard is, she was the crazy
brilliant black woman. Okay,
yes.
She is a brilliant, successful, intelligent, educated black woman.
Well, Tiffany Hinyard is back in the news. There's a whole bunch of Tiffany Hinyard updates. Now, I know people who've been following the story are going to be shocked about some of these updates, so we'll get to it. So we grew up to follow the law and respect law enforcement, but that wasn't
went out the window a long time ago in that crowd.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Sorry. Nate, if these people are being paid protesters cash, are they? Yeah, they're 1099 contractors. Follow the money. I really wonder. That's a very good point.
They might be.
They should be getting those 1099s.
I mean, if
you must be an accountant if you said that. All right. So let's get back to Tiffany Hinyard. So the big question that's always been coming up is, why hasn't she been arrested? Right? Why hasn't she been arrested?
How is she getting away with this? Yes, everybody's wondering
because
that.
It's clear what's been going on. So what the government has been doing is trying to get their ducks in a row. So they've been trying to line things up. And now we've gotten to the point where we've seen how some of these things have lined up. For instance, one, she's left Dolton and she's now in a whole nother area. We'll talk about that to figure out, that maybe she doesn't think she's doing a new start. But first, we're going to talk about the dominoes that have fallen. First, the police chief in Dolton, former police chief that was under Tiffany Hinyard, has now pleaded guilty to his crimes, and he is now going to he's going to state's evidence. He's doing state's evidence with this. Here is WGN. They have a report on the former police chief. Now, remember, this was her enforcer. This is the guy that was doing all the stuff, locking people up, all that stuff. He had the issue with Tommy G, who did the expose. So he now remember. Now, for those of you who don't remember, let me pull this back so I can go with this. So, for those of you who don't remember what happened with the Dolton, the police chief had filed bankruptcy like 7 times. Right. And on those bankruptcy forms, he has said a whole bunch of lies. Now, every time you lie on the bankruptcy form, that's essentially fraud.
That's
fraud,
second,
right?
That's separate charges.
Yeah.
And so I guess people don't know that. No, just add them all together. No, that those are separate individual charges. And then I think they can be modified too, based on the amount and the circumstances.
Correct.
So, so I don't think he realized that until they were saying, hey, buddy, I want you to look at this real quick.
Yes. So now the reason why they charged him with the bankruptcy, because generally they don't charge you with bankruptcy fraud, but the reason why they charged him with bankruptcy fraud is because they wanted him to flip on Hinyard. So that was maybe about a year ago. So now, if they're about to go to trial, and this is what happened. So we're gonna show you what recently happened, what he's done, because they had him. He was going to jail for maybe a decade until he came to this police. So now he's pled. So here's the news report.
A guilty plea and cooperation from a top ally of former South Suburban politician Tiffany Henyard. WGN Investigates has learned former Dolton Police Chief Louis Lacey is pleading guilty in a personal bankruptcy case. His plea deal includes the promise of cooperation with unspecified current and future federal investigations. Lacey was Dolton's acting police chief during Henyard's rocky reign as mayor. He provided her with a large security detail that acted as her chauffeurs. Henyard lost both elected positions she held earlier this year.
So Lacey is state's evidence, right? So you can check him off the box, right? Lacey's done, right?
Yep. He's in the hands of the DOJ now.
Yeah,
so.
Lacey's done. So he flipped. Now that's the enforcer. Now the second guy you got to get is the money guy. And the money guy was Keith Freeman. Now Keith Freeman he's scheduled to flip in next month. Now, we'll show you that. Let me knock down some of these super chats. This one we didn't get. Native. Oh yeah, we did that one. This one, $5. I'm not in the YouTube title or on the screen. Who's your buddy with you? Oh, I gotta put you in the thing.
Oh yeah, we forgot about
yeah. Can you shout him out every now and again, like his takes? Yeah, this is the commentary king. He bought the Tiffany Hinyard stuff to you. He bought the Tiffany Hinyard story. Like I didn't know that he was the one that said this is the story we need to cover and recover. He does a lot of the background research and a lot of the stuff that we do. So like a lot of these stories today is it's from the commentary.
Me and Nate talk over the years about different type of stuff. I have my own channel and I have video. Actually, Nate heard one of my recent videos. It's unlisted now. It needs to be edited, but I talk a lot about what's going on in Minnesota and why it's ineffective. And I may or may not have a direct contact with a CBP officer. But anyway, but yeah, if y'all search the commentary king.
No, I'm gonna put
it in there. Okay,
I'm putting it in right now because it should have been there before.
Oh yeah, we were trying to get the audio stuff together. So
yeah, so I'm gonna go Control C. So it's in the description. It's in the comment right now, and it's going to be in the description later. And I'm gonna keep putting it in the comment section so everybody can get my boy the commentary king. He's does videos on all this stuff. So this is where it is. So thank you, Marine X, and it will be there. Yes. This honestly isn't about the moral high ground. It's about creating martyrs for their cause. This is why they are
radicalizing so hard. Yeah, I mean, martyrs are good. Martyrs are good, but it works both ways. I mean, Charlie Kirk. So it's like people use martyrs for their advantage. Unfortunately.
This is K-Cat said, I was born and raised in Dolton. Woo. I want her charged. Well, I think most of us do. Most of us want her charged. And thank you for the $1.99. And here's another one. Disagree with someone to really see them.
Exactly. Hold on. What was that? Yacht, I think. Oh, I know who that is. I know who that is.
Hit the like button for Nate. Thank you guys. Thank you.
If
guys.
y'all like this, let us know, because I drive an hour over here every Wednesday. If y'all want it.
Thank you. So yeah, sub. There it is. Yeah. So there is more commentary, King, and he'll be in the description from now on. I think we were so worried about the audio, we forgot to set that up. But so now, Dolton, we're back to Dolton, right?
Okay. So he's flipped, but so Keith Freeman, the money man, the man who's helping, because there was different business ventures and nonprofits, and she had like the cancer fund thing, Tiffany Cares, and all this other kind of weird stuff that was going on. And a lot of that was run by Keith Freeman. Some of them exclusively, because some of them were in his name as well. But they found out that, hey, this is actually not necessarily a front, but it is a way for her to kind of put her hands in many different pockets while pretending as though, she's being very fiscally responsible. So it's clever, but it wasn't too clever. They're not as clever as they think they are. I'll say that.
So let's move now to this one, to Keith Freeman. Now, this is Keith Freeman. You see his picture up here. This was the money guy. So now you got the enforcer, the guy who's out there putting hands on people and doing that stuff. Then you got Keith Freeman. Now with Keith Freeman, they have him on the same thing. I don't know why these people love bankruptcy, but they're committing bankruptcy fraud like crazy. So Keith Freeman was arrested for the same thing the other guy was, right? Bankruptcy fraud. They got him on bankruptcy, but his was only 1 count. Well, the other guy was 9 counts. So the other guy's got like years in prison he's got to deal with.
Yeah, the money man's going to be a little bit better.
Yeah, he's a little bit better.
Non-money man.
So now, if you go to his docket, this is from the docket. This is what the judge says for Keith Freeman. Now, it says, Keith Freeman was supposed to, that he has what's known as a change of plea hearing. And that change of plea hearing was to, so he can change his plea from not guilty to guilty, and then they had whatever agreement they had between him and the government to cooperate or whatever. They've postponed that like 7 times. So here is what the judge said. The judge is like, okay, I'm done with this. This is the last time. Here it is. Minute entry before the Honorable Judge F. Nees, which is a crazy name, as to Keith Douglas Freeman. In-person status hearing held on January 14th, 2026. Defendant, who is not in custody, was present with retained counsel. The parties reported that additional time was needed to prepare and change for a change of plea hearing. I'm going from not guilty to guilty. Accordingly, an in-person change of plea hearing is set for March 4th, 2026 at 10:30 a.m. So we'll know next month, in about a month, what's going to happen. If the change of plea does not go forward, so remember, this is like the 5th or 6th time. It's like, so if it doesn't go forward this time, the court will set a trial date at the March 4th, 2026 hearing. The government will submit a draft of the plea agreement to the judge at the proposed order needs, give the email, by March 1st, 2026. So the judge says, I want to see it 4 days before you guys get in. Time is excluded without objection. Speedy trial time. It's throughout the time. So in other words, if we're coming to an agreement, you have the speedy trial time. So it's trying to call you. Let's see, uncivil law is trying to call you. Oh yeah, he did try to call me. Well, but I'm not going to answer right on screen. If he wants to come in, you got to send me a message. Tell him to send me a text message if he wants to come to the
join the party.
Yeah.
So he can't prevent it after March. That's it.
Yeah,
they're just going to move forward with trial.
Now you could still plead guilty, but in other words, the judge is like, we put this off to us. We're going to go through the trial.
But he has to stick with his original plea unless he changes it before March.
That time, to serve the ends of justice, excluding that. So, and what they're talking about is time. You got there's a speedy trial clock. You have but a certain amount of days to prosecute somebody, and if you don't, so what they're doing, they're excluding that time. Where does it say? Hold on. All right, we're holding on. Uncivil is live streaming too. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Here we go.
So with Keith Freeman should be flipping on March 4th. Is that what you're reading here? Like, am I reading this?
It should be. I'm not sure why I think he's trying to weigh out options. If I had to guess, he's like, hey, let me weigh out these options, because I don't think he's probably still in communication with Henyer, right?
Well, he flipped on Henyer before, because don't forget, he was working for the trustees. Like he flipped on Henyer with the trustees.
He did. Yeah. So his loyalty is all over the place. So I think moving forward, he's trying to be a bit more careful, right, than just kind of reacting. But I think now this judge is kind of. I think the judge sees that and is like, sick of this. It's like I'm tired. So you're gonna do this or we're moving forward, and I don't care after that. So he's gonna have to make a big boy decision at some point because he can say, look, I'm gonna just flip on in here completely, cooperate with the DOJ, and then get a reduced sentence and move on with my life, or whatever else he thinks he can do.
Now, I will say this: if you understand what's going on in criminal justice, you'll see on this one end, you get the enforcer. It's just like the mob. You got the mob, the person who's out there beating the people up and doing all that stuff. You got him. He's flipped. He's ready to sing like a bird. Now you get the finance guy. The finance guy's a little harder to get. He doesn't have that many stuff, but he knows where all the money's at. He's already been working with the stuff, and they know, and he's got to know, that he knows where all the bodies are buried. So you get him too. So if you got both of those, the next logical person is Henyard. So let me do this. Let me send Uncivil Law this link.
There we go. But because it's like I know people are kind of antsy about why isn't she locked up? We know all this stuff. Why? It's because she was in two different areas technically and doing things surreptitiously not just in finance, just in a lot of I think there's some civil cases that are pending against her.
There's a whole bunch of civil cases that are pending and all that stuff.
There's a lot of stuff to actually uncover and thoroughly go through to make sure that when we go after her, we're hitting her hard and heavy, and then that's it. We're not trying to do this sloppily and then have possibly mistrial and have to it's a waste of time. Why not do it thoroughly, do it one time and have it for sure? Because if you have the money man and then you have the enforcer both flipping, that's hard to come back from.
I think this story is essentially over. But when they do flip, we're going to be there. We're going to be covering. Well, they've already flipped. Essentially, when they do go to trial and pick up Henyard, we're going to go. But now Henyard is no longer in Dolton. She's moved away from.
She's doing bigger and better things. She's a successful Black woman. Okay.
So Henyard, just so we can all see what we're talking about. So we look to see what's going on with Henyard. Henyard right now, trailblazing leader Tiffany Henyard celebrates the grand opening of. Now she calls it the THA New Wave Clothing Store. So she's in College Park, Georgia. Tiffany Henyard, visionary entrepreneur. Now obviously she wrote this press release for herself.
Visionary.
Yeah, visionary, the youngest, first woman mayor of Dolton, successfully launched flagship retail store. Let me do this. Let me make this bigger so you guys can see it easier. Yeah, so she's got ground. Now this is her own thing, right? With a vibrant ground opening celebration, College Park, Georgia. The event begins 5:00. Here's the address. Now serves a permanent home for the brand, embodying the mantra. So, do you guys want to see where this place is at? Let me know. Looking for the TIFF indictment. We're all looking for the TIFF indictment.
It's coming.
Thanks for becoming a YouTube member. So, let me do this.
Yeah, it's coming.
Let's see. We're going to show you because we looked up the place. So, we're going to show you what exactly we're looking at when it comes to Henyard's new spot.
Yeah, because I was curious. I was like, oh, hey, she's doing new things. I'm thinking that she's going to go, run for office. Maybe the grassroots organization or something like that, just no, she's gonna, remake FUBU, and Rockaway right in the 90s.
That's right.
So her own version of City Trends. I get, bring it back. Sure, I'm here for it. There's Kurt.
Oh, he can't come on because of this one only has one. What's going on, Kurt?
There we go.
Howdy. How are you doing today?
We're doing all right. We had to put you on this one because we have another little screen thing here we use, but we got you though. We got you.
Can they hear me when I'm not on screen and I'm just I can be a disembodied voice?
That's you could be, but they can hear you now. So it's a good part that they can hear you. So
there we go.
So we're looking. So this is Tiffany Henyard's.
This is a new locale.
This is her new location. This is in College Park, Georgia. Here's the street view.
She's running a church.
No, she's running a clothing store.
Well, there is a church in the funny enough, there is actually a church in the strip mall.
I saw.
So when we look in, so she's actually right next to the church. This Redemption Outreach Church International. That's the church, and right next to it, B3. This is her store. So I'll zoom out. So
she's going to run a clothing company.
Yeah, she's running a clothing company.
Good for her.
This
Good for her.
is the what do they call it? The flagship store. So here's the store. You can see the thing, and when you go, it's just regular parking.
What kind of clothing? Vintage, neo vintage, goth?
We're
I could see Tiffany Hunyard as a goth. I could see that working.
So let's look at so that's first thing we're gonna do. But let's look at, and she's also too. She's giving out some scholarships and stuff like that too. So we'll talk about her scholarship fund, which is crazy. So here it is. Here's the grand opening of the Tiffany, the New Wave Clothing, THA. So this is her from ashes to icon. Grand opening, Tiffany Hinyard's clothing store.
It's a hell of a icon that you got there. There's no. Maybe this is an older, Google Maps, but just in case, folks, I have a friend of mine who lives in the area who's actually going to go by there this weekend and get some pictures to see.
If I lived in the area still, I'd go up there. I mean, it's not that far from where I used to live. I'd pop up there.
There's tons of Asian massage parlors and stuff over there too that you can't miss it.
I was thinking of going up to DC to watch the Supreme Court oral arguments on birthright citizenship, so maybe I'll pop over there while I'm up in the area.
But but they're in Atlanta though, College Park, right?
Yeah, that's Atlanta
Georgia.
area.
Yeah,
yes,
pretty far. Kurt dragged us roughing over. Thanks for having us. Thank you.
I thought you meant College Park, Maryland.
Oh no, College Park, Georgia.
Sorry,
Georgia.
Wrong College Park then.
I didn't like Kurt's answer to my question, so I can't hear it.
No, we got into a very precise legal argument. That's why I was calling you for emergency legal support. But we can talk about it when a time arises.
So this is Tiffany Hinyard's website, the Tiffany Hinyard THA New Wave Clothing. Bold, urban, and unstoppable. So she got a contact. We clicked it. There's no contact. So these are how some of the clothes look.
That looks like a stock photo. I don't know if that's actually like a stock photo.
This looks like Louis Vuitton sneakers here. But yeah, so that's it. Tiffany at a glimpse. She's standing on business.
This is the other thing too. So if you guys are wondering, so Tiffany's upset. Like she doesn't like Nate, but she shouldn't like me. Actually, I was to start all this, but she doesn't like the fact that some of us compiled a lot of the, let's say, certain levels of malfeasance that was going on in her administration, right? So she is going to push back by putting out what she considers the real story in a 3-part book series. And lucky for you all here, you guys,
I'm here for it.
You can pay $100 a book for this 3-part series.
Do I get signed? Do I get signed?
No. That's just how much the book costs.
That's extra.
Yeah, so if you want to see Tiffany Hinyard's book, because now that she have a clothing store in Georgia, she's charging $99 for her book. Here's the news report on that.
Dolton residents are ready for a change. Tiffany Hinyard has been voted out of the mayor's office.
Joni joins us now with details on this major defeat for Tiffany Hinyard. Joni, good morning.
Either way, the $99 book deal?
Community, because I do a ton of good, but y'all just painting me as bad.
I'm here for it. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to write it off as a business expense and put it on my channel.
This is an old thing, but here is the thing about the book. Let me see. Where's it say the 99? Because the price tag is $99, right? So whopping price tag for tell-all book. Tiffany Hinyard announced a legal venture, blah, blah, blah. Where's it? On a post on X, pre-order the book. Here it is. So in a Facebook post, disgraced politician vowed the real stories coming while sharing the link to pre-order the book, which boasts a price tag of $99, is reportedly the first of a 3-part series. So you're going to have there's 3 of these books coming out.
What a deal. I'm there for it. I'm there.
So we're going to have to pay $300 to hear the story from Tiffany Hinyard's side.
Look, I'm willing to buy the book. I'm willing to buy the book just to, I've already.
But you got but 3 of them. You got 3 of them. Are you going to buy 3 of these books?
Well, I'll buy the first book. Okay, I'll buy the first book. Kirk will buy the second. So I'm definitely curious. I'm very curious as to I'm also curious as to what self-publishing website, because I need to publish my high fantasy romance book, so that I'm writing. So I definitely want to understand the real story, because evidently I didn't do better research and to get the real story when we first discussed it. So that's on me. That's my fault.
And earlier this month, Hinyard pleaded the 5th in a court over the Freedom of Information Act lawsuit. She had violated the judge's order. The judge said, "Did you do it?" And she said, "Yeah, she's pleading the 5th. Obviously, she did it, so that she has some issues." So Tiffany Hinyard it's been a very busy bee, and as you can see, she's trying to get out of this. But I think right now she's got to be. If I was her, I'd be worried because it seems like in less than a month, the finance guy is going to flip, and then the Feds are going to be all over.
But here's the thing: she's trying to get money because she's going to need a good lawyer. So these business ventures are an effort, a last-ditch effort to try and get some money because that lawsuits are coming.
Go figure. Us taxpayers end up paying for the books through the write-offs. That happened. That's true. That's true. That's true. Thank you so much, Simons. Thank you so much. All right, so we are now past the Tiffany Henyard story because Tiffany Henyard has been just going crazy.
I'm trying to get her to a scholarship. I don't know about you. I want
the Tiffany Henyard scholarship.
Look, I've been practicing at the LSAT.
But do you really think that she's going to be giving up any scholarship?
No.
Yeah, she's
absolutely not.
Like, remember the Tiffany Henyard's Care? Like, I don't know if you guys know about the Tiffany Henyard's
Cancer
Care
thing?
Foundation. Yeah,
I mean, she's as much a scholar as Dr. Ritchie is.
That's true.
She doesn't have ED. Okay, Dr. Ritchie has ED.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty positive.
No, man.
It could, I could be wrong.
Now, remind you, this 24/7 press release is her writing press releases for herself, and you just publish it here. Tiffany Henyard Scholarship Entrepreneur announces national call for applications fostering the next generation of business leaders. So she's giving away, I think, $1,000 scholarships. So, and the only reason why I know this because I've used these sites too when I wanted to we were suing somebody, and you can use these sites to get just press releases out. I'm not accepting your evil cookies. But here, it's saying that she's $1,000 scholarships toward their business ambitions. So that's Tiffany Henyard. So we'll see if she's going to be giving
What if
out
I want to
money.
be a drug dealer? Is she going to give me $1,000 for that?
It all depends. Well, I'm assuming that's why they have the the thing. Now, before we transition to the next story, I wanted to see what do you guys think about Tiffany Henyard? Do you guys like? I think it's about what? It's how long do you think it's before she gets arrested?
I would give her 3 months max. I'll give her three months max.
3 months? What about you, Kirk?
I'm surprised it didn't happen a year ago at this point, to be honest. So I don't know.
But now they got her main enforcer. He's flipped, right? And then you have the other one, the finance guy. He's changing his plea next month. So I think they just get all their ducks in a row because there's no need to charge her right now because you're well within the statute of limitations on any of these criminal charges. So
just biding their time.
Yeah, and just getting all your ducks in a row. Because the Feds, when they come at you, they like to come at you 100%. Like, we got you, right? So
makes sense.
They got 6 months to a year. Nate the lawyer, yep, that was a stolen image. You're talking about from her.
She might have paid for it. She might have paid rights.
Lock her up, please. 6 months to a year. Yeah, 6 months to a year. I think 6 months to a year. So next, we're going with the Epstein files. Now, I'm going to say it. This Epstein crap is crazy. Like the stuff that's come out.
The stuff recently or the stuff, 4 months ago or the stuff 2 months ago? There's been so many releases.
No, the this recent release, it's incredible. Number one, how do they release they let out all the victims' names, but then all the pedos, they hide.
Alleged.
No, there's some that's clearly pedo.
We don't know what Woody Allen actually does. Wait, never mind.
I didn't drop any names now. Now you know I'm not.
I didn't
say Woody Allen. I didn't say Woody Allen.
I was reading documents online that the Department of Justice. I'm just reading what they put. Okay, allegedly. Who knows?
Let me show you some of the crazier stuff that we've gotten from this crap. All right, so here's one. Now, remember, the big issue with the Epstein files was that we can't prosecute him. We got no evidence that anybody did anything, right? That was like always the big thing. So here we go. We're gonna show you some of the stuff that was found. Now, also too, because I'm a very, very good YouTuber, someone had aggregated the entire millions and millions of files and put it into a link. So what I'm going to do...
did someone put it together as a torrent? I hope so.
Yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that link and put it in the description. So when I got to find that link again, but as soon as I get that link, I'll put it in the description here, and you'll be able to see all of not only these, but the previous ones and everything. You'll see it up there, and you can go through and click through them all. So
it's a lot. And I see now why Trump was sort of hesitant to sort of release a lot of this stuff, because it implicates a lot of people. There is some Canadian, fitness doctor or something, and his correspondence with Epstein clearly indicates that he knew what was going on. He was very aware because he's making comments on Epstein's lifestyle and how it's almost envious. And so it's like that leaves very little to the imagination as to the degree of their relationship. And so he can't really distance himself from it. But he doesn't expect anyone to read these private emails that are no longer private. So it's people like that who have a lot of influence, and like the former Andrew. These are powerful people.
Well, I'll tell you that the biggest thing for me, I always wondered what happened between. I always wondered what happened between Bill and Melinda Gates.
The link to all of the files.
Can you guys hear me?
Are going to be. This is one hell of a link. Let me make sure. Oh,
I'm lost in the void.
Here it is. Control C.
So
I wanted to make sure you guys had the link to all the files. So click on that. That's from Vladzilla, and he has literally all the files there. All the files there. So you have it. It says, yes, we hear you. Oh, I think we don't hear Kurt. Sorry, Kurt.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
I was talking. You guys weren't answering back. I'm like, can chat hear me? So I was confused there for a second. I was like, at least the most important part of the Epstein files is I now finally understand what happened to those crazy kids in love, Bill and Melinda Gates. I always wondered what happened that caused their relationship to break out. And now that curiosity has been saked. So, that's actually a good transition because that's exactly where we're moving to. We're moving to that particular part. So, but before we get there, let's not run too fast. Let's look at some of the more crazy stuff that's been coming out. So I'm going to share this screen. So we're going to look at some of the madness. So here's an email from Mario. Mario holds like some of the biggest, what's it called on Twitter?
The voice rooms.
The voice rooms.
All that stuff. Yeah.
So he had Elon Musk. I've been there a couple of times. They asked me to go all the time. You go on there with Elon Musk. And sometimes Trump was in one. This guy is crazy. Mario's the man. So here it is from Jeffrey Epstein. They redacted this name. Why? Who the hell knows? But that's what it says. Thank you for a fun night. Your littlest girl was a little naughty. Sent from my iPhone. My question to you, Kurt, is why do you redact that name? Why is this name redacted? Why?
Under standard DOJ policy? I don't know if the act they passed would have modified this, but standard policy from DOJ is they always redact the names unless they indict them, right? No matter who they are, they always refer to them by an alias. It's just standard DOJ policy because they don't want to bring someone. It's seen typically as unfair because you can't just defend yourself against your name. Like if the DOJ is indicting you, you can defend yourself in court. If they're just bringing your name and smearing you, you have no particular remedy against that. So, there's that.
JEEvacation@gmail.com.
That's Epstein's. That's actually, from what I understand, that's Epstein's actual email. But
he puts new Brazilian just arrived, sexy and cute equals 9-year-old. But this is
I really hope that doesn't mean it was a 9-year-old girl.
That just equals 9-year-old, right?
I understand that's what it. I understand those are the words. I'm hoping it doesn't mean that. I'm desperately looking for some other interpretation.
I'm with Kurt. I'm with Kurt on this. I want that to be one of those.
It's got to mean something else, right?
Right. You send messages or emails, and it gets sent to a different type of receiver or a different email service. And then it kind of takes the characters and moves them around, and it gets all weird and stuff like that. I'm hoping it's that. I'm really hoping it's something like that.
This, to me, this is, again, I don't believe they should redact this name. But like you're saying, it may be right. But the fact of the matter is, they've got other names in here that are not redacted. Elon Musk's name is in here. Bill Gates' name is in here.
That's very true.
So if what you're saying is consistent, then all the names should be redacted. But that's not the case. These names specifically are redacted.
Yeah, and there's picture attachments.
And there's picture attachments.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pictures attached.
Yeah, so again, I don't know why you redact this name, and then you have the victims of this who are out. I just it makes no sense. And there's so many of these. There's so many, like it starts to get like really, really sick, like this one from, now here's a name.
Oh,
Martin Norwalk. Now they redacted his email address, but that's clearly
then they show his email right there. Right below is his email. They redacted up here at the top, but then show it right there below. Like, what's the point? Why
a little sloppy.
Let's go. Our spy was captured after completing her mission. Did you torture her? That he's sending this to Epstein. Now,
maybe they're playing a game. Maybe it's just a game.
Maybe Jeffrey Epstein really is an intelligence asset, and he means that literally.
I'm really hoping so. Like, this is some Mossad agent. I don't know.
Maybe. Here's one that looks a little more interesting. This one, let's read from down. As you probably know, I represent the Rothschilds. This is Jeffrey Epstein talking, just so everybody understands if you're listening to it. Jeffrey Epstein sends this to Peter Thiel. Who is Peter Thiel? Why is his name unredacted?
Fair point.
But as you probably know, I represent the Rothschilds. I was hoping to figure out a way for the bank that has 160 billion and management can do something in tech. Best client list in the world, prehistoric products. It can wait. Good luck in China. I'll be in Europe again, 2028, then island. So he's going to his island. So if you want to come around the world going west, if you would like to meet in Saudi at the end of the month. Then Peter Thiel responds, certainly not in Saudi. Just think, I will avoid the Middle East for the next decade or so. Should be back on the East Coast late April, May, sometime in NYC or on the island then. So, it seems like Peter Thiel is going to the island. It reminds me, do you guys ever watch that movie, The Island, where people go to the island, but the island was like the place where they killed them?
Yeah, I mean, they're playing tag or something. It's a pool. It's a tiki party. They're having a tiki party. That's why it's in that time frame, because everyone knows. People go to Epstein's Island for the tiki parties.
Here's another one, Kurt. Here's another. The reason why he's
from Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Do you have any parties planned? I've been working on the edge of Sandy this year. And so once my kids head home after Christmas, I really want to hit the party scene in St. Bart's or elsewhere and let loose. The invitation is much appreciated, but a peaceful island experience is the opposite of what I'm looking for.
So hold on. So he's making sure I'm going there to have some fun. I'm not going there to relax. Relaxation is
what the hell is example.com?
I don't know.
I don't know.
These are in the Epstein files. But now Jeffrey Epstein responds to him. You are welcome to stay. Just come for the day. Plenty of room. I'll send the heli to get you. Now, remember, Elon was up there saying, I know nothing about nothing. I never wanted to go to the island. Everything's sick.
I never believed in any of these guys say, I never believed that. But we'll say just because they were on the island doesn't mean they were partaking in things, but it's like people who were at the Diddy parties, okay? Right? Not everybody woke up with a sore butt, but some people had to see something kind of crazy at some point, but who knows, right?
Yeah, now
apparently example.com.
He never went. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Example.com is literally an example domain that's reserved by the Internet Assigned Number Authority. So it's not a real domain. It's literally an example domain in case you want to use a fictitious domain. So that is not a real email address.
Well, Elon didn't make it seem like it wasn't, these emails weren't sent. But maybe you're right. Maybe these are fake emails from the drop. Who knows? But I think the most compelling part of this whole drop is the Bill Gates stuff, because Bill Gates said that, he had worked with Epstein. It was kind of philanthropist stuff. It wasn't really, it was just, hey,
just throwing around money, this charity, that charity.
So here's what was in the Epstein files. Now we're going to go to Vladzilla. We're not going to play the whole thing. We're going to play the relevant parts of it. But this is from this last batch of what happened between, now most people remember Bill and Melinda Gates divorced, and divorce was because of some infidelity and some other crazy stuff. And she did mention Epstein a little bit, and he's the devil. I hate his guts. I hate his guts. So now we go into the files, and this is what was found in the files. So we're gonna look at that right now. Here we go. Let me put this full screen so we can hear. All right.
Bill Gates appears to be distancing himself from Jeffrey Epstein, and Epstein seems to have a problem with that. He says, I assume the dedication to our relation went both ways. Larry has now asked me to recommit to a confidentiality agreement. Basically, he's got to shut up about his relationship with Bill Gates. And this is where the blackmail starts. And it comes in the form of like, if I were you, I would do X if I were the type of guy that you should be.
Now, we always had learned that Epstein was blackmailing these people, but we never really saw the mechanism of how he did it, right?
We always just kind of presume that, you know, hey, you are in close proximity to me, you know what's going on. People are going to look at you funny, which is fair, but that's people probably didn't know that initially. At some point, you have to think, hey, this guy is connected to a lot of powerful people. He moves money. He could be an asset. The people who are already in his circle aren't going to say, hey, by the way, you know, and don't bring any women over the age of 12. You know, they're not going to say stuff like that. You find out about it. So, you know, that's the fucked up, that's messed up part about that.
Hey, what's going on? I was watching your show the other day. Did you hear they released Gmail login info?
Nice.
Got
to get that two-factor security, baby.
Yeah, they're pretty insane at the Justice Department. But let's hear this out, because now we get to the blackmail. Let's see.
He says, in that regard, I suggest I buy you the house that you had your heart set on. In addition to 5 years of severance, we'll buy you out of the investment contract we agreed upon, 30 to 40% of an $100 million partnership for $30 million in today's terms. That's what I would have done had I been in your shoes. Then
Kurt, does that sound like blackmail to you?
It feels a little blackmail-y.
This is a strongly worded suggestion.
If I were you, pay me the 5-year severance, 30, 40 mil, and we don't have anything to worry about, right?
You get to keep both your legs.
Do you guys think this is blackmail?
Sounds fishy.
Linda Gates giving her interview yesterday. Oh yeah, we're about to watch. We're gonna watch that.
We're gonna get to that.
Saying her ex-husband should have asked her to explain. Yeah, we're gonna watch that. We're gonna watch.
What crisis management firm do you hire for this? That's the good question.
I don't know, but it looks that's absolutely blackmail. So, but now it gives us a little look behind the curtain to see, like, okay, when people said he was blackmailing people,
we can't sit. That's not black. This is 2026, guys.
It's a little light blackmail.
It's male of color.
A little light blackmail between friends.
No, he said
male of color, sir. Male of color.
African American male.
African American
male. There we go.
Thank
you. I appreciate that.
Here we go.
he lays out what he has on Bill Gates, or what he says he has.
Out what he got.
Quote, to add insult to injury, you subsequently, with tears in your eyes, implore me to delete the emails I had regarding your STD.
Ooh. Now we're at STD. So what the hell? Oh. Now, to be fair though,
you mean the massive sex trafficker retains information and he might blackmail people? Oh no. What are the odds? You mean he's a sketchy and somewhat unscrupulous person? Couldn't see that one coming.
But now but my problem is that if you're the richest man in the world, getting antibiotics from a doctor is not something hard to do, right?
I wouldn't think so.
But it's not like he's saying like hey, you know, I got my co-payments are high, right? You got triage medicine. You call the doctor, hey, give us a whole bunch of pills and call it a day.
Here's the money, goodbye.
Matter of fact, tell my wife she's got an iron problem. You know, give her a prescription. Take one of these every day for the next 5 days. It'll be fine, right? Like,
but it looks like he keeps things close to the chest. And so, you know what? If Epstein was the man with the connections and the solutions, he's not going to think twice about it. So that's a high level of trust between these two.
And I want to remind you, Epstein wrote this email to himself. He didn't send this email to Bill Gates. He wrote this email to himself. And now he's talking. So it's like he's drafting this email and writing it out. So that's what Lordzilla is writing, CoffeeZilla. Here we go.
Your request that I provide you antibiotics that you could surreptitiously give to Melinda, and the description of your I mean, this is insane. It's completely insane. It's like basically laying out in text form, I would give me millions of dollars. And I can't believe you're asking me to delete the message where you were going to give STD medication to your wife without her knowledge. I mean, It's complete. It's crazy.
This is textbook blackmail. I don't see how any reasonable person would say this is not blackmail. This is textbook.
Well, if he said it to himself, it's not blackmail.
No. This to me seems like he's about to let this know.
intention was to blackmail him, but he was still trying to decide. I mean, you guys don't give.
And why would you email that to yourself then?
I guess he didn't know how to make a draft,
or because you know somebody else is going to see this eventually.
Could be. Fair point.
Write the email to yourself because you emailed it to himself. You didn't email it to Bill.
Oh, that's okay, yeah.
And then email it to yourself. It's a permanent record, and that all this information is out there. If he was an asset, and now Bill has got to struggle. But let's hear the rest of CoffeeZilla. So CoffeeZilla is going to take it home.
It's just completely obvious what he's doing here. It's just a nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Here's what you should do. But now that coming out after Epstein's death, this looks really bad for Gates, obviously, because you usually wouldn't blackmail somebody for something that's completely false or fake. I mean, maybe he did that. But we also know Bill Gates had affairs. Obviously, Melinda credits it for their divorce. So it's hard to believe there was nothing sketchy going on. Bill Gates, of course, maintains that it was completely above board.
So now let's look at that part, because now Vlodzilla has taken us to the point where we now can go to ABC News and the fallout, because obviously all that stuff was in the files, and people are like, "Yo, what the hell?" Bill Gates, he was,
because it's like you say, okay, hey, you know what? It's supply demand with women. Okay, cool. That rich guys, that's what rich guys do. But trying to give his wife antibiotics, like while she doesn't realize it. That just accelerates things to a level that's just unimaginable, right? So, how do you feel?
Billionaire philanthropist Melinda French Gates is speaking out after her ex-husband Bill Gates appeared in the newly released Epstein files.
For me, it's personally hard because brings back memories of some very, very painful times in my marriage.
Are those painful times when he gave you an STD? Like
I would say, yeah.
What do you think those painful times are? It brings back memories.
The couple divorced
Oh my God, yeah, this is
back in 2021. Now Gates addressing the Epstein scandal with NPR's Rachel Martin.
But whatever questions remain there of what I can't even begin to know all of it, those questions are for those people and for even my ex-husband. They need to answer to those things, not me.
While Bill Gates has previously said his meetings with Epstein were a, quote, huge mistake, his mention in the newly released documents are fueling fresh scrutiny over the nature of their association.
And I hope there's some justice for those now women.
Asked about the new files, a spokesperson for Bill Gates called the latest allegations completely false and said the only thing these documents demonstrate is Epstein's frustration that he did not have an ongoing relationship with Gates. Meanwhile, new fallout for the now former.
I think it's
he's done. He's done.
Yeah, oh no, he's cooked. He's cooked. You can't deny that. Okay, yeah, I was on the island. Okay, yeah, you got pictures of me. I didn't do anything. Well, there's a picture of you like hugged up with an underage woman. Yeah, it's just. Oh my God. There's who has the pictures when he's in his drawers? Is that Bill Gates or is it somebody else? I forget. Did y'all see the pictures? Somebody was in their drawers.
I'm not sure. Hold on. I'm writing this thing. I'm saying. So the question for the chat is going to be: is Bill Gates guilty of Epstein fund? Because I want to try to keep this monetized.
Yeah, PG-13.
And it says yes or no. Question mark. Yes or no. So the poll is in the chat. Do you think, based on what we see, do you think Bill Gates? It's gonna be tough because I'm not accusing him of anything. I know nothing except what I see.
But so I would think Gates would probably be into stuff that activity with a much more older and consenting party. Even though he was married, and the reason I say that is because some of the other releases that came out specifically like with Steve Bannon and stuff like that, and the conversations he had, the guys who were into the non-consensual, type of relationships, they would kind of openly joke about it. As weird as it is. So the fact that it really doesn't seem to even be suggested here, would lead me to believe that Bill Gates is just like, I just want, a hot, 20-year-old Brazilian. That's fine. I'm good with that. Like, so that's just me. I don't know what you guys think.
You're saying something, Kurt?
Nope. Just listening.
Here is I'm showing this one now. This is some pictures of Bill Gates allegedly with some women from the Epstein trough. So as so to say. So I'm going to share this one so you guys can see. So here is this picture over here on this side is supposedly of Bill Gates. This is one of the Russian women, and this is supposedly again, and these are from the files. The face is blacked out.
Yeah, see that? Like that's why I would say it's, he's not like with Andrew. Like you can see the pictures of Andrew, and there's no question about, this person's definitely not 18 nor close. These look like late early 20s.
That photograph? I don't know if I could tell that from that photograph, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I can't.
They look quite a bit older to me.
They don't look pre-teeny, but still.
I would, if I had to guess their ages, I would have said young 20s.
If you said somebody was 17, I wouldn't just like deny. I don't know, could possibly. All right, so let me delete the ones that I have just. Melinda Gates is giving an interview. We just saw that. Love your channel. Can a third party that did nothing wrong but mentioned in the file sue the government if they get harassed? No, unfortunately, no. Not there's nothing they can do. They're screwed, unfortunately. Like even the victims whose names were like, there were some victims who nobody knew they were a victim of Epstein,
but their names got released.
And they can't sue the government, which is crazy. But the government did pull down those files. Could be a coincidence, but Gates' net worth grows slowly, exponentially, starting around 2014.
After the wife left.
No, the wife left.
They pulled them down after several days of being exposed. People have obviously saved them.
Yeah,
so it's like, come on.
Epstein wanted better grip on Bill than he had. It seems like it. It seems like Bill. Yeah.
I mean, having one of the world's richest men in your pocket. That's a hell of a card.
That's a hell of a card to play. Yeah, a hell of a card to say. When Bill Gates went to countries outside of the U.S. to test drugs on their populations was alarming to me. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Bill Gates was the one who was big predicting the pandemic. And then when the pandemic hit, people were like, was that foretelling or was that, him actually doing it?
A little ominous, looking back.
Yeah.
A little ominous.
Let me see. Please show the message where Xbox banned Epstein's live account. It was right about the same.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that. Yeah.
That's
Gold covered that. That was good.
Yeah, it was New York Department of Justice said that, hey, Xbox, y'all can't have any predators on your service. So here's what we need you to do. We're going to give you a list of everyone who's on a list, and they can't have your services. So they sent an email to Epstein, was like, sorry, buddy, we're cutting off your service.
Oh, that's good. We got him now. Cut off his Xbox access.
Here it is. We have that right now. Boom. They cut off his Xbox.
If I'm Microsoft, I'd be saying, have you thought about maybe prison? I don't know. Maybe that would be the right answer.
Yes. Another batch of emails released by the DOJ Friday. Do they have the email here? Are they going to be smart and put the email? No, they don't put the email here. Oh, now. We want to see the email. But in this article, they say, yes, there was an email sent. Last batch of emails sent on Friday was one huge, more than 3 million documents, including the release of C6 Epstein resolution. Yeah, it shows him that Epstein was banned from Xbox Live on Microsoft. You click this. Yeah. Oh, is this it? Oops.
Look.
Let me continue without.
Oh, there we go.
There it is.
There we go. Notice of permanent enforcement action.
This email is to notify you that Xbox Live account privileges have been permanently suspended due to harassment, threats, and or abuse of players. The conduct has been determined to be severe, repeated, and or excessive. That is the thing. And here it is. Here's the actual email from Xbox to him, and that's the email. So they banned him from Xbox.
And they sent them like the generic ban letter. They don't even care.
Yeah,
like whatever.
Here's the actual letter, the bad letter, so everybody can see it. Ooh. Sorry. So yeah, they banned him straight up.
Yeah, this letter makes me think, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
Like,
where's the DOJ notice of permanent enforcement action? Where's that notice?
Yeah, that was that was in the Asmongold video. Now, I'm not sure which one recently, but I know I did see that recently because someone referenced it. But that's I might have to look it up.
But
I'm glad somebody mentioned it though.
But you know what? The my issue is that with all these redactions, with all these people mentioned, is anything going to happen to this from this?
You're funny.
Like, is anything going to happen from this? Like, are we just?
You're funny.
You know,
did anything happen to Epstein when he was arrested in Florida and people already knew about this?
Weekend jail. He got
Of course
weekend
not.
jail.
The DOJ's already told us because remember they told us there were no files. That
There were
was
no
fun.
files.
Yeah,
There's nothing actionable. You know,
there were no files. Oh wait, there are. Yeah, we've reviewed it. No one can be charged. Okay.
Pam Bondi.
You know what? To be fair, they're probably right. The statute of limitations is probably expired for everything, so they're probably right.
On what? For what?
For basically everything. I mean, standard statute of limitations for federal crimes is 5 years.
No,
All
no,
this
not
is
for sex, but they specifically changed the one for sex trafficking.
Fair
So
point. That's fair.
It's sex trafficking, murder, and it's not for everything. But a lot of these crimes, especially crimes against children, it's ongoing. So they can still charge tomorrow. As a matter of fact, there are some in the UK.
When did they change it?
Yeah, so there was some they changed in 2003, 2004. So everything essentially before that it was 5 years, and it all depends if it was like there's some technical issues to it. So, but Epstein,
anything post 2004 we can still get them for.
Yeah,
okay, fair enough.
Anything else to simply post 2004 we can still get.
Right.
A lot of this stuff was happening back then. So
fair. All right.
And you know,
they're not going to. They've obviously not interested for whatever combination of reasons.
But do you think there's any probable cause here to arrest somebody for crimes against children? You literally have the live victims. You have all these correspondence. You got all this information, all this documentary evidence. You got a victim saying, "Hey, I
recognize that guy.
This guy did this to me. Here's also the documentary evidence. I was on the island." That seems like probable cause to me.
Yeah, the thing is, like, obviously for a crime, you have to be a little bit more specific or have a better idea of exactly what crime, right? So it's like we need to be able to charge them for a specific thing. So can we get to like the who, what, when, where, why of a specific incident?
So there was 500 and over 500 victims' names released, right?
Out
of those 500 victims, right? We're calling them victims because somebody did something to them
at some point.
Right, at some point, right? That's why would we call them victims at that point in time? So we got these people. Now, generally, to even have probable cause for that, this person did this to me, right? That's generally enough for probable cause. I got a live victim, make an allegation, I believe her, believe a crime, I can arrest that person. Now, conviction is a little bit off. So now you got the victims. What else do you need? Well, you need some type of evidence they were there
to corroborate.
Flight logs. You got this. You got everything. 3 billion documents, right? Emails.
Yeah, and you know, if you actually gave a damn, you could actually try to bring a case against some of these people. I'm sure.
Yeah,
I don't think this is circumstantial. There's plenty of people that were doing business. I'm playing devil's advocate, folks.
Yeah, it's circumstantial, but you know, I get the victim on the stand, tell their story, and I'm halfway home.
Yeah, that's it. Now it's up to you to explain it, right? Victim tells a story. Now the defendant's got to explain. Oh, I was just there. I saw. Yeah, blah, blah, that type of thing. So, like Kurt said, I think them saying there's no one else here to prosecute is just a straight up lie.
Or no one they want to prosecute.
Yeah,
there's that. I think there's no one that we desire to prosecute at this point.
I think you go into the point now. It just gets crazy. So that is the pretty much the end of today's live stream, guys. We wanted to keep it under an hour and 30 minutes, and I think we've accomplished that goal.
Pretty good.
We did a really great job today. So
I did have a legal question, which might take some time, depending
go
on
ahead,
your staff.
We literally got 7 minutes, so go ahead.
Oh, this will be fun. So we were discussing on my channel Don Lemon's liability, and we were discussing specifically Mr. Lemon at various points when he was live streaming instructed people not to answer specific things. It's like, you know, don't tell me where you're going, don't tell me what you're doing. And so we were trying to decide, or me and my chat were trying to collectively decide whether or not that would be enough to aid and abet, because Lemon knows where they're going. We'll presume he knows where they're going, and he also infers that, and he said things like, if they see me coming and all the rest of it. So he believes subjectively, let's say, that if they were to say, we're going to the so-and-so church, that someone might overhear, that someone might alert the church, and the church might do something or the police might do something and the thing wouldn't happen. So by saying, don't answer this question or don't tell me this, he is aiding the crime because he's facilitating it happening, because he's maintaining operational security. Does that get us anywhere? Or is there a First Amendment argument to be made even there? I think it's a very interesting legal question. I think there might be a First Amendment argument to be made, but I think it's interesting. What do you think?
So his willful ignorance is sort of being used as I guess willful. Let me see. Willful ignorance in the matter, right, is being sort of translated into like passive collusion in the operation.
Well, I'm thinking when you think about aid or abet, right? When you think about what it means to aid or abet, you're thinking about anything that promotes, facilitates, allows to occur, anything that makes the crime more possible, anything that helps anything that helps it to be, right? So Lemon knows what they're planning on doing.
Right.
He knows that they're planning on going to the church because he knows to ask, or he knows to say, don't tell me this. And not so much him, because he already knows. What he's really saying is, don't tell the live stream this. Don't tell the public this. Because if you did, someone might tell someone,
that would implicate,
tell the church, blah, blah, blah. Then the thing won't happen. So I'm telling you not to share this information so that the crime will happen. And that seems like aiding and abetting. Or it could be. Now, I think there's even a First Amendment argument to be had in that. And I was trying to wrestle through it, the whole thing, but I think there's a case to be made.
Well, let me respond to what you guys were saying, because I wanted to make sure just to look up the aiding and abetting elements, because there's elements to aiding and abetting. Now, to aid and abet, number one, you have to have a crime. A crime was committed by someone, and here we have that right there in the church committing the crime. So we have that, but we're talking about before the crime was committed. So we have an issue already with timing, right? Before committing, because we're talking about really co-conspirators, not really aiding and abetting. But even without,
you can aid and abet the process of it. The crime itself doesn't have to be complete. You can aid and abet as the crime is occurring.
It says you cannot aid and abet a non-crime. The principal offender doesn't have to be charged or convicted, but the underlying offense must actually exist. And
it does have to exist, but it doesn't have to exist now. Like every element of the crime doesn't have to have occurred yet.
The conspiracy aspect of it is a part of the eventual crime.
Yeah, like trivial example. You come to me, say you're planning on robbing a bank. Can I borrow your car? Sure. Has the bank robbery occurred yet? No, but I'm giving you my car to facilitate.
Because I think at that point you're a co-conspirator. But you're right, you're aiding and abetting, and you're aiding and abetting. You're right. Yeah,
so that's what I'm saying.
You know the crime. So the second element. So we'll take a crime was committed or is going to be committed. The second element. Affirmative act of assistance. Now, it's specifically encouraging, facilitating, assisting, advising, or providing tools, information, transportation, lookout, for instance. Now, again, these are two elements. So you got 1, 2, and now there are two things. The court has said, and me and you've gone over this. Mere presence is not enough,
right?
And foreknowledge is not enough,
right?
If you just stand there knowing a crime is about to happen, is happening or is about to happen, that anyone does not make it an that alone does not make you an aider or a better. So just because you know, or just because you're there.
Yeah, because so Nakima told him that, hey, we already have this plan, this operation. He's going along for the ride. He doesn't want his presence to spoil that he knows what's happening. But from what I can tell here, it has to be an active role rather than a passive role that's played in the affirmation of assistance in this case.
Yes, so it does have to be. It does have to be active, but what I'm saying is the active is where he says, "Do not say this," right? Because I've seen the video where he says,
"Yeah, I know." He said,
"Do not reveal where we're going. Do not say this." Like that's something active. He's giving instruction.
But let me speak to that point particularly about him saying that, like, do not. Unless that only works if you have an affirmative duty to prevent the crime or an affirmative duty to stop it. So, for instance, in the case of Don Lemon, if he has a duty to stop the crime. And like, for instance, if it's his child that's about to, where he has a duty, a legal duty to do, he then has no duty to call the police and tell the police that to stop this crime. He then has no duty to pronounce for the crime, because again, there's a difference. This is the exclusive argument, the reporter exclusive argument. This actually, I forget the name of the case, but there was a reporter who was arrested for something similar to this, where they knew a crime was going to happen and they had the exclusive to the crime.
Right.
So they said, so they weren't telling anybody. We're not telling anybody because we don't want to be scooped. So we're not going to tell anybody what the crime is. We're just going to be there and show the stuff. So then they went and recorded everything, and the crime occurred. And that's when they were like, oh, you told everybody, you not to tell anybody what stuff was going to happen.
You prevented it. So now you're complicit in what's happening.
Then they said the First Amendment overcame that, because as a reporter or somebody reporting the news, you could have that exclusivity to say, hey, I'm not doing this for the crime. I'm doing this to keep the exclusivity, so I can report it first. I can be the first to break it.
So how about we treat this the same way we treated the scenario in which we had the ideal officer, right? When we were taking the totality of circumstances, we were trying to determine whether or not those officers were practicing or mishandling a situation. When they shot Alex Good and Alex Good, right? So in an ideal scenario, right, what would an ideal perfect reporter do to follow along with Nakima in this situation, to record what's going on and to get the scoop for this happening?
All right, so in the perfect scenario, the reporter could know about all this stuff, foreknowledge, no, we're going to do all this, right?
Right.
The reporter goes and stands outside and waits to this stuff that's happening inside. Now, since we're talking about a place that's open to the public, the reporter can then go into that place,
right,
and record what's going on, right, and say, okay, this was going on. I'm a reporter, blah, 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 blah. And if that happens and they don't stop anybody or become part of the crime, and the reporter then leaves, then you don't have anything, because the reporter is just literally reporting the news. And now that's Don Lemon's thing. Don Lemon is like, I waited till they went inside.
Right.
I waited until the noise started. I went in and reported the madness afterwards, and those other reporters. So to me, if you can't overcome that, because as here, the next one, intent to facilitate the crime. People are saying, Don Lemon kept saying, we.
The we isn't doing anything for me.
Great argument.
But is
but
that actually
I'm not going to slip it on a pronoun.
But we'd have to ignore all the times he said, I am not a part of the group, I'm going to film a protest. Before, right? Then I'm not a part of the group, I'm going to film the protest. In the thing, I'm not a part of the group, I'm going to film, and then afterwards, I'm not a part of the group, I'm just filming the protest. If you can't overcome that, because he said that all throughout, then I just don't think you have anything, because I don't think you can get to and then the intent part is the part that all of these co-conspirator cases fall on, because if Don Lemon's going to make the argument, I intended to go film a protest, the government's going to make an argument, you intended to go and protest. What's more reasonable based on the facts that we have and the fact that they grabbed all the independent journalists?
Yeah, no, I'm trying to make a very specific argument to a very specific moment in time.
Okay.
With a very specific idea, because I think under this fact pattern, it's interesting because it's a live stream. He's not really saying don't tell me. He's saying don't tell the world.
Correct.
When he's saying to that person, don't reveal where we're going. It's not because he doesn't want to know, because he already knows. It's because he doesn't want the world to know.
Exactly.
He in his own mind, I'm presuming, is thinking, if the world knows, someone's going to alert the church, the thing won't happen. Someone's going to prevent it from happening. The church is going to take steps. The police are going to take steps. People are going to take steps. The thing won't happen, right? So by giving the instruction, don't tell the world, he is instructing them to maintain operational security, and that helps to facilitate the crime, right? If he was just merely passive, and the person says what they say, and that blows up the operation, then that's the thing. But he is now trying to assist it to occur. He wants it to occur so that he can report on it. So he wants this act to occur, and he's giving instruction so that it will occur. So I'm not saying he has a duty to alert people generally that a crime is happening. I'm not saying mere knowledge is enough. I'm saying that he's giving instruction that helps to facilitate the crime from happening.
So he's saying don't give it up, right? Because again, the argument is going to be this is an exclusive, right? I'm there because it's an exclusive. Don't tell anybody, right? Then we can go to
I think there are First Amendment defenses.
But then I want to also get is that we can't treat that one element as the only element. Because the element that you're going to run up, even if what you're saying is true, right? You have actual assistance, because actual assistance is the fourth element. Even if we have actual assistance, it then goes right back to 3. Was his intent? What is his intent? Is his intent to go and record a protest, or is his intent is to go and protest himself? If you had evidence that his intent was to go protest, you got him. You got him. You got all the 3. But that element, I think, is the core to the probable cause. Is that you have to show that his intent wasn't.
I don't know that that's necessarily neither here nor there. I mean, in terms of the conspiracy, I think it could be, but in terms of aiding and abetting, I'm not sure it's either here or there. If I aid and abet a bank robbery, but I don't particularly want to participate in the bank robbery, but I just like my robber friends, so I'm going to give them a helping hand, then I'm still guilty of aiding and abetting, even though I don't have any particular desire to participate in the bank robbery. But I'm helping them and promoting them and all the rest of it. So I'm still guilty of aiding and abetting.
Well, sure, but having the desire to see the thing happen isn't necessarily playing an active role in it.
I agree.
I understand what you're saying. To say, hey, he's trying to maintain operational security to a certain degree that it ensures the thing happens, right?
Right.
But is that in service of his own goals of being a reporter, or is it primarily for operational security? Because I think that's sort of where you kind of split the bill on it. Yeah. Because both could be true, and I think both are true.
I think there's a law review article to be had in this.
Yes.
I think there's a law review article to be had in this, because I think you can actually make some interesting First Amendment defenses even on top of all that, because of the nature of the live streaming. It's like, if it were a edited video and he says, well, don't say it to the camera, that doesn't facilitate the event, because it's an edited video, right? Whether the camera hears it or not is irrelevant, because the event's going to occur. It doesn't help it, or it doesn't promote it, doesn't do anything to facilitate it. But this is a live stream. And so by saying don't tell the camera, what he's saying is don't tell the world, don't give the knowledge to the world, who then might be in a position to stop you. I don't want them to stop you. I want this thing to happen. And if you told them, they might stop you. And I want the thing to happen.
But does he have... All right, so him saying, I do not want all these people to know, because again, if we just go back to the basis of criminal law, if we're talking about aiding and abetting, you need the mens rea and you need the actus reus, and we're talking about the actus reus. But the mens rea, I think, is the problem here, because again, you can aid, right? You can abet, but that intent piece, I think, is the problem. It's holding, and the intent piece wraps up with the First Amendment, because again, what you're talking about is every embedded journalist who knows they're going to Vox, they go to sex trafficking and this, they go to this and they go to this, and all these people filming all these crimes in real time to show you.
Then they become accessories.
Then you become accessories
just by being there.
Like,
well, it would be the live streaming might change the element, because like in a normal embedded, you're not live streaming while you're doing it. So the live streaming factor, because it's now revealing that, because by saying don't say it to camera, you're saying don't tell the world, because then they might stop you. If it was just an embedded journalist, normally there's no one there to hear it right away. But now you're saying don't say, so that people will hear it.
So that's the problem. When those embedded journalists are on camera, they say, we can't tell you where we're going, but we know this. We can't let you.
If the journalist says that, that's different. If the journalist says, I'm not going to tell you, that's fine. But he's giving instruction. If he told his own camera crew, like, don't say, I think that's fine. But he's telling one of the participants of the crime. He's telling someone he knows to be a participant in the crime. He knows this person is intending to go in there and do the disruption and blah, 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 blah. And he's giving them an instruction not to tell people, so that the thing will occur. Now the event will occur. If you tell people, the crime might not happen, and then I wouldn't be able to report on it. That would be sad.
Well,
so don't tell anyone, so I can maintain my exclusive, and the crime will happen now. I don't know, man.
That is not as convincing to me, because you'd have to show that he has an affirmative duty to try to stop the crime, because sometimes that does happen. If you're a co-conspirator mixed in with the crime, and you've already done all the planning and all that stuff, and then you say, I don't want to be a part of it, you have to then do something affirmative. Like that duty's bestowed upon you. But here, I just don't think he has a duty. Like if he said, I don't want to tell anybody, it's just going to be tough to say this is not him being an exclusive. But I will say this. It's a 50-50 in terms of that. Even if we give it 50-50, which I don't even think we give it 50-50. If we do give it 50-50, I still don't think you get to a conviction. I don't think there's any way you get to a conviction.
That'd be tough because you have to say that his actions were directly in service of the conspiracy for them to commit the crime.
Yeah,
unequivocally.
I think that's exactly the argument you'd have to make, but I think you can make exactly that argument.
I think
you can do it.
Yeah,
I don't know whether or not a jury would buy it, but I think you can argue it.
I think you can make the argument, but I don't think the argument. Well, to be honest with you, I don't know if the argument is going to survive a probable cause motion because probable cause is more likely than not. And right now, the fact that he said what he said before, during, and after, live stream, real time, present sense impression, right? Yeah. I just don't. I don't think you're going to be able to say, well, he really was thinking this or he was really doing this when he's explicitly telling you what he's really doing. It's like you would have to just ignore that.
I also think that if you convicted him under this theory that I'm now trying to develop in mind, I think that this is the makings of one hell of a court of appeals case someday.
Oh my God!
Because there's some interesting countervailing First Amendment arguments to be had here. It's like, obviously, as an embedded reporter, I can report on the thing, embed the thing. It's like, and I'm just saying, don't say that because. There's a First Amendment defense to be had in here, and it's blowing my mind. I don't know the answer. I don't know if I'm overthinking this, but I'm already seeing Supreme Court oral arguments in my mind. I'm seeing Supreme Court oral arguments. I'm seeing a 6-3
right.
split. The whole thing is a nightmare.
Right. We agree with you. You're right. I believe you can make an argument to maybe get the probable cause.
Yeah.
But I think that's it. I think you're done at probable cause. I don't think you can make it past probable cause.
I doubt a court would actually allow something like this to go through because it would have such a stigma after that for any embedded reporter because now they're in fear.
The stigma is don't instruct the co-conspirators of the crime to give the operational information to the live streaming audience. That's the precedent.
I mean,
that's the situation. If it went against Lemon, if this went against Lemon and Lemon lost this argument, I don't know that's that much of a blow on the First Amendment. Be like, so the precedent would be, yes, if you're live streaming, you can't tell one of the co-conspirators not to spill the details because that facilitates the crime. Please don't do that. I'm not sure we're talking about the death of the First Amendment in that scenario either.
No, it's just the ripple effect.
Don't tell the co-conspirator because, like, for instance, I was watching one of these Vox ones where they were doing a sex trafficking and a guy fell. And the cameraman went and started helping the guy up, right? So he can go do his sex because he fell. You know, they was helping him up. That guy now, he's going to jail. He's aided and abetted. He helped the guy up off the floor
so he could go do.
So he could go do the thing, right? The guy slipped and fell, helped the guy up.
Technically,
right? He's aided and abetted. He's going to jail for 20 to 25 years,
but
right?
That's in service of them committing sex trafficking,
or was that in service of him,
or just being a good guy, right? Because you can make the argument. Well, he wants it to happen. He knows the guy embedded in knows that sex.
We're presuming this guy picking him off the floor knows about the sex trafficking and everything, right?
Yeah, of course, you can watch that video now. They're embedded. Matter of fact, there was another video where one of the guys was doing the thing. I think he broke his foot or something, and they had to wrap his foot up and all that stuff, to help him. The guy went on and continued to do the stuff, but none of those people are going to be prosecuted because they're going to say. These people, they're even though yes they aided, but their intent, and I think that's where this thing dies. Their intent was to help them sex traffic.
I'm not sure the first aid thing quite works because then the paramedic is guilty, and that can't be true. Yeah, the paramedic who somehow knows of the whole sex crime thing, whatever, but comes there and helps bandage the guy. That can't be a kid.
They got a team of people. They got
that can't do it.
And
I don't know, ma'am. I don't know. Any of you in chat, law students or anything? Anyone out there, law students? What do you guys think? If you guys are looking for a law review paper, I think there's some potential in here somewhere.
But between all of us, let me knock down these super chats before we go because we promised not 2 hours. You promised not 2 hours because we got the complaints. I would be more worried over discovery with the feds now. Will find on his phone. I think he's going to get much more serious for him. This is going to be much more serious for him. That's a very good dark.
If he's colluding with Nakima.
No, if he's on that phone saying, "Hey, we're going to go and do this," I think he's gone. I think
getting a subpoena for the phone records is easy.
Wasn't his question to the pastor during the protest show's intent to go and protest? No, he's interviewing the pastor.
That actually that actually hurt the argument because he's showing he's trying to be an interviewer, in this case.
Nate, how would your assessment change if this was a 9/11 style plane hijacking? Would maintaining operational security for the hijackers not be aiding? It could possibly be aiding, but the problem is that the constitutional consistency has to be the same.
Yeah.
If on 9/11 they said they went to the New York Times and told all these people, we're going to do this, and we're going to give you the exclusive story. The New York Times could go in and give up the beat, but if they don't have any obligation to do so.
Yeah.
I would say they're suck. I'd be saying
morally they suck.
But the First Amendment is going to protect them. It protected deep throat and all these people from the Nixon time, right? It's going to protect them.
Holding on to knowledge can't do the trick. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like if you tell me and I decide to not hold it, retain it, that isn't the thing.
If they gave them fake passports, if they paid for it, like something like that. And even with Don Lemon, if he was holding open a door, you can make a better argument. But he for some reason he didn't do any of that.
Yeah, he opened the door, but that's for people to come out.
Yeah,
he did that. So,
them, if an old lady can get 11 years of federal prison for silently praying outside the abortion clinic for violating the FACE Act, Lemon can do the same. But the issue is that what we're talking about is unjust enforcement, right? Forcing it this way against that's an equal protection issue. This is a separate issue. I'm saying on the facts of this, right? This woman, if she went there to silently pray and to do all that, block people from going in, that's one thing. Because they would have to show her intent. And in the Don Lemon scenario, I'm being very, very meticulous with what I'm saying. I'm giving you all the other elements, but I'm saying this is going to turn on his intent to do the crime, because that's what a lot of these cases do. You have to have the actus reus and you have to have the mens rea. Mens rea we got in spades. Actus reus, I think, is where you come
That's
to that
tough
problem.
because you know that he's primarily there in service of his scoop. And
I'm sorry, I said
with
that.
respect to this,
the actus reus we have, we don't have the mens rea. I said it backwards. Sorry.
And with respect to this old lady thing, my question is: was she only sitting outside the abortion clinic, and
was she
praying,
sitting in front of the door?
Was that all she was doing? Because I was trying to get into this earlier today on my live stream before I ran into this question on Lemon and decided to bug you, because I was trying to analyze some of this stuff under the abortion protesters. At least with respect to the individuals I reviewed, they were doing a lot more than just that. They were blocking doors, obstructing doors, turning people away, and so forth and so on. So there was a lot. They were doing other things. So was this old lady only silently praying outside, or was it more? Because you have to get into the facts. The facts matter. So, and even if that's true, that would be an unjust prosecution against her. It wouldn't have anything to do with Lemon.
Yeah.
Right.
So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to some degree because it's not relevant to our immediate issues.
How is this any different than
same problem with the J6 journalist? Same problem. Again, the cases I've reviewed, people have pointed me to cases. Every J6 journalist that people have asked me to look up, every single one they've asked me to look up, they were doing other things. They weren't just observing. They were doing other things. So it's not factually the same. That's how it's not the same.
You can't distill down their role as a journalist and exclude all the other extraneous stuff that they were doing that wasn't in service to journalism. Right. So that's the problem.
Imagine a scenario where Don Lemon is embedded with Roof and his church, what's it called, escapades, and said the same thing while streaming live. Okay, so he's on the roof. He's with Dylan the Roof, right? That's the guy that tried to shoot. He's got the scope. He's on the roof.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to start a live stream because I want to respond to these questions about specific cases.
Good question.
Start a live stream and post back to me because I want to answer some of these questions. We're going to go through some cases together. It's going to be fun.
I want to go with these two, right? So Dylan, he's on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
So Dylan Roof has said, "Hey, we're going to go get Trump. I'm going to go kill Trump." Right.
Right.
The ethics of him going and not calling the FBI to be damned. Right. Moving that aside. He says, "Oh, great, cool. Don't tell anybody. I want to kill. I want this exclusive thing." Okay.
Sure.
They go up to the roof. He's laying down next to him. The guy's taking out the thing. Right. He's live streaming it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
What did that you would have to then show me? Was Don Lemon there assisting him?
Is he setting up the tripod? Is he, acting as a spotter?
Yeah,
because just to play devil's advocate, somebody can tell you that, and you can follow them. They don't have to follow through with it. You can say, "I'm recording this. just in case this guy's BSing me.
Yeah, well,
you know, but you don't really like, because that's in service to observing and not aiding.
The problem is that I'm so sympathetic to everyone's arguments.
Yeah.
But the law, there's no hard line, right? People make it seem like it's a hard line. And if we catch him picking up this or doing this, that
it can be misconstrued as you're helping in some capacity.
And you have to kind of look at the whole thing, because the First Amendment's heavily protected, because we understand we want people to go in and do these types of things and bring this type of knowledge to the forefront. And if we stymie it, that's why that Curtin was going to show you on his stream right after this. Don't go uncivil law. Put the link in the description, in the chat.
But as we speak.
But as soon as that happens, we're at a different level. So that's what I'm trying to force you to look at the entire event and understand that this is not an easy case for the Justice Department. They can try to say it's an easy case, but they're screwed.
I think they're going to be gun shy about trying to.
And don't forget, you already got the one judge saying there's no probable cause. The facts didn't really change.
They had to go like 3 different.
Yeah, they went to the appellate's court. They saw the evidence. They weren't convinced. And now you've gotten a grand jury to indict. But guess what? First thing this lawyer is going to say, I want to go to a probable cause hearing in front of the same judges who just told you ain't have probable cause.
Didn't we just look at this?
This looks like it's a loser. There are four First Amendment rights involved. Doesn't that matter? Yes.
Yeah. So he can't stifle freedom of religion just for freedom of and that's understandable. The argument that you have to show is that he was intentionally trying to stifle someone's religious freedoms.
And the way you would do that is if Don Lemon went to that church first and started chanting with them.
Yeah.
You got him, right? You got him, because now you got an active. If you got him chanting in the church, right? Some people are saying that he was chanting in the church. Show me that video. Show me that. If he's chanting in the church,
but he could be okay.
Yes.
Okay, back
because
to the
now looking at everything, it's like, okay, now, and so that's what we're looking for. We need something to show that his intent was to be a participant,
unequivocally,
and not an observer.
It has to be directly in service to the crime.
And I'll say this: it has to be beyond a reasonable doubt. And this confliction of rights, right? You have the right to protest versus the right to the press right and the speech right and the right against free exercise. It's like the analogy is, I can move my arm until it hits your nose, right? The front of your nose, right? My rights extend, but they can't overcome your rights. And I think in this particular case, Don Lemon's argument is going to be, I didn't violate anyone's rights. I went to a public place that was open to the public.
Right.
After they started screaming, yelling
in the doors, and
I went inside and I filmed and interviewed the people who were inside screaming and yelling.
Because the argument he's going to make is that it was already disrupted.
That gets them a long way too.
Yeah.
And this last one, not reporting is not the same as saying don't tell my live stream audience this, or else they will report it. Yes,
and that's the argument that a lot of people, I think.
But how is that how is that different from an exclusive deal? Like me trying to keep things exclusive. How is that different? Don't give away.
Well, how are you keeping it exclusive? What is the
by
mechanism?
Not telling anybody? Don't.
If you don't tell anyone, that's not the same thing. If the reporter doesn't tell anyone, that's not the same thing.
If
that's what I'm saying.
So my reporter and the crew, right? My crew, don't tell anybody. I tell the staff at the newspaper, we're doing this. Don't tell. Nobody should tell anybody. Don't spill the
Mum's the word.
Mum's the word. And now we're gonna live stream it. We're on the live stream, and somebody's about to say, and I said, don't say it because we don't want to.
That's where I'm saying. I don't know, man. That's what I'm saying. That's different to my mind.
I think it's tricky, but my position is with Don Lemon, him being so involved with it, right, to that degree, that makes it icky. But he's going to make a really strong argument. My actions were in service to my job as a reporter. And not the crime. That's that. And I think that's going to be hard to. I
think it's a fun case both ways. I think
it is.
If it comes down to this, it's going to be one hell of an appellate decision someday.
Do you think it's going? Well, right now, I think probable cause is still an issue. I still think they're going to run into the probable cause, but I don't.
Based on what they've said in their indictment, based on what they've said, if the DOJ needs help, I've got a better idea. So I can help you with your indictment. If you need a superseding indictment, give me a call. I've got a better idea.
They just lost some lawyers.
I've got a better idea.
This one says that was about someone following Dylan Roof to document his church massacre, document for the church massacre. Oh yeah, so Dylan Roof was a church massacre guy. But again, even in that, the problem is that the First Amendment analysis, even though it's fact specific, those facts also have to align. Like no matter how egregious the thing is, you always have to go back to the facts. I knew he was going to go and commit a church massacre. You should have reported it. If there's some law that says you should report it, something like that, that gives you the duty to do it. Okay, we're all on the same page. But if you don't have that, then I think that's the problem that we kind of get here.
I think because people are looking at it as like, hey, the degree of the crime or the potential fallout from it or potential damage, that somehow should change how the statute is understood.
Yeah.
And I think that's when I was accounting law many years ago. I had to understand how I personally feel about this scenario is different from how the law is going to interpret it. Vastly different. So that's where people start getting kind of lost a little bit.
And thank you for this super chat. But even in this for this particular point, if Don Lemon knew this guy was going to go to a church and do a massacre, unless now there could be some laws that says you got to report that, stop that, blah, 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 right? There may be some laws that say that. I'm saying excluding that piece. If they say they're going to be a church massacre, he hears about it, he goes and he sets up his camera and reports on it and doesn't do anything affirmatively to help them in such a way where it's actionable. And his intent is to go film the massacre, not do the massacre. I think I think he's going to have some issues because I think you charge him, I think you prosecute him, and I think you try to see what you can get. But I think at the end of the day, the Constitution is going to protect that.
They don't want to set that precedent, right? That's a bad precedent to set. Even though, like, some of us would agree, yeah, him being embedded like that is icky. The setting a legal precedent is not worth trying to pin him to the wall, because now that's going to have a ripple effect for anybody else that's embedded with any other event that happens in the future.
Last super chat: does the order of rights first religion matter? No,
It's just a list.
It depends on for any right. It depends on kind of the fact. That's when we become a factual analysis, right? Was the church open? Was the church open? Yes, it was open to the public. You don't have did they have the right to church protest in the church? No, they technically didn't have the right to protest in the church. So they can't use. We have the First Amendment right to protest in the church. No, you don't, right? So that First Amendment rights. But when it comes to journalism, did he go into the church to protest? I'm making Don Lemon's argument. No, he did. Was the church open to the public? Yes, he was. Was he not allowed to film? Well, he was allowed to film. Was he not allowed to interview people? He was allowed to interview people. So now he can make the First Amendment argument. I was there as a member of the press covering a protest.
And the church service had already stopped because Nakima and the others had already, but so you could pinning Nakima to the wall and her group about that. She's done. That's unequivocally
they're in trouble. They're in trouble.
But getting Don Lemon in that's going to be incredibly difficult. That's like I said, I like Kurt's. I like this. This is a fun scenario.
I hope it goes.
It's a great scenario, but it's going to be an uphill battle for something like that.
Well, with that being said, we are going to get out of here because we promised you an hour and a half. We're almost at 2 hours, but thank you. We will see you back here next week, Wednesday at about 12 o'clock. We're going to try to see if we can start it early because a lot of people are talking about they want to listen to this drive time. Yeah. This is for the Commentary King and my brother Uncivil Lord. Thank you guys so much for being with us.
You set up the redirect?
Today. I didn't set up any redirect. Hold on. I'll set that up right now.
Help me out, man.
Do this. We read this real quick.
Redirect.
Hold on.
If I coordinate with the group, planning them to go in first so I can come in after and film my scot-free. If Don executed this with the group, he's part of it, right? He said he coordinated. Well, yeah, we need to be precise about exactly what it. Yeah, but I mean, I understand what you're saying, and there are elements to that are interesting because he did say, like, if I go in first, he'll reveal the plot and stuff like that. So there are definitely things that you're pointing to that show possible entering of the conspiracy. We'll discuss it more over on my channel, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question.
Some of these other cases.
The way that I would, I guess, tackle that is if you think about you being in a war zone, okay? If the point man, like if you're doing door breaching, point man says, hey, look, we're going to go in and then you, right? And then you're going to make sure no one comes in behind us. You can film all that stuff. Great. Are you acting in service of the operation, or are you there to keep everyone safe, including yourself, and get the scoop? Because you can say, hey, yes, I was a part of this operation to record stuff, but I do have a duty of self-preservation. but that's primarily to keep my butt alive and so that this film, gets to where it needs to be. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're a part of that squad. You know what I mean? So that's where you can parse exactly what he's saying, but then also look at the totality of events and everything that's happening. It was the fact that he wasn't there storming it with them would kind of indicate he's separate from them. So, that's where it gets a little iffy for me.
And we also have to these facts, if true, would give Don Lemon, I think, even a little bit more problems. Like you said, if I coordinate with the group, which he did, foreknowledge, so that's true. Planning to go in first, he didn't go in first, right? He didn't go in first. So even and when he went there, he said, no, we're going to let them go in first. So he didn't go in first. So, and even if he did, the place is open to the public. So you would also have to say he can go in, and then he would protest.
Because he could go in and set up in a corner and then just watch everything transpire and not be a part of it. So, that's it. You would have to take everything. We're at 2 hours. All right, we're done. So next time.
So I can come in. So I can come in after and film. All right. And I'm scot-free. But again, if Don executed this with the group, he's a part of it, right? He said he's coordinated. Yeah, but again, what I mean by intent, coordinate, do all that stuff, right? He knows. But the key question to the jury and to you is going to be this. Is anybody going to say Don Lemon went to that place to protest? Got him. Or was his intent to go into that place to film a protest? That's the thing. And I think if you're on the side with 50-50, you can make an argument 50, you can make an argument 50% against.
Ain't gonna stick.
Because you're looking for beyond a reasonable doubt.
Ain't gonna stick.
And there's a lot of reasonable doubt here. So you could do the pony show, hey, but I don't think you got anything. But with that, we got to be out because we've said 2 hours. So peace, people.
Later.